Okay, hi, I'm doing a quick tutorial on how to do the scorebook or the game book. This is just how I set it up. You'll have two sides, the San Juan Hills on this side and the opposing team on this side. It doesn't really matter which side. I know this side is getting cut off, but it's pretty much the same page, so I think this will work. This is how I set it up. So San Juan Hills, let's say we're the home team. The home game book is the main game book that the refs use, so it has to be correct. The opposing team will have their own scorebook person that you can double check with, but you are the main scorekeeper, and you're the ones that communicate with the ref. And the scoreboard is just for the fans to see, but the scorebook is the official book. So this is how I set it up. San Juan Hills, the coach, the date of the game, the scorer, and then the same for the opposing team. So San Juan Hills is going to be white at home. Tesoro will be, I think, probably red. And same, you don't have to fill out all that information. So you'll put the team roster here on the left. You could put our last name for our players, and you want to do it in the order of the jersey number. It's just a lot easier to keep score if you do it in order of jersey number. And on Tesoro's side, you don't need the last names. You just put the jersey numbers and put that in numerical order as well. You should have a printout of our roster to hand to the Tesoro scorekeeper, and they usually will do the same for you. And that way you both can fill out your scorebooks a few minutes before the game starts using that piece of paper. So what I do for our team is I mark all the starters and who plays. So right here I've got Fisher, Bryant, Johnson, Abdul-Jabbar, and O'Neal. Obviously I'm a Laker fan. I have these guys starting in the first quarter, and if Reeves comes in during the first quarter, I'll give him a mark. I'll just kind of do a different mark. It doesn't really matter. If Cooper comes in the first quarter, I'll also put a mark, and this way coach could just keep track of who's playing in which quarter. I don't do that for the opposing team because he doesn't really care. So let's just start from the beginning. They'll tip off. Possession of ball is what this stands for. So at tip, say San Juan wins the tip. So I put tip and I put white. So the next possession on a jump ball or the next period will be Tesoro ball will be next. So I just put, this is how I do it. I just put tip, white wins the tip. So then the next one will be Tesoro. Let's see. Okay, so the game starts. San Juan gets possession of the ball, and we get a 3-point basket. And if you're not sure if it's a 2 or 3, you look at the ref every time to see if they put their hands up, 2 hands up, parallel, which indicates a 3-point basket. And if it's a 3, you mark it here, the 3-pointer, and say it was Fisher who got the 3 in the first quarter we're in right now. And so you indicate that he got the 3 here. Then the next one, Tesoro gets the ball. They get a 2-pointer. So you mark 2 points, and say number 2 got the 2 points. So you put that here. Same thing, go back and forth. San Juan gets a 2. So now it's 5 points, and that was Bryant that got the 2. So you keep going, but you should be able to see, you don't mark every box, you just mark it so you can see that it was a 3-pointer and then 2 points. And then say next is a foul happens. So say number 2 fouls Fisher. So we'll come over here and give number 2 on Tesoro a personal foul. So you mark that. So this is the personal fouls here. And then you'll want to mark the team foul down here. So this is the first half, and this is the first foul. Some people just check it off. I like to put the number of the player who fouled because sometimes you're asked that history. So I will put number 2 committed the first foul on Tesoro in the first half, and also mark the player here as well. And so say he fouled Reeves, so Reeves will be shooting free throws. So you put, he'll be shooting 2 free throws. So you put 2 zeros here, and if he makes the first one, you fill in the 0. And if he does not make the second one, you leave the second one blank. And so that way later on, when he shoots more free throws, you can see how many he attempted and how many he made. And then, sorry, I forgot to say, when he makes that one here, you also fill it in here for the 6. So this keeps track of exactly how the scoring has gone in the game. What else here? So timeouts. I forgot to mention that I like to set up the timeouts this way. So the timeouts are down here for each team. In high school basketball, each team gets 3 full timeouts and 2 30-second timeouts. And when the coach calls a timeout, he'll tell the ref what kind of timeout he would wants, a full or a half. And the ref will tell you and tell you when the gamekeeper is to start the clock. So say San Juan Hills calls a timeout in the first quarter at 2 minutes and 53 seconds left. I put down, they call a full timeout here, 60 seconds. And I put 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So I know that's when they call the first timeout. And I write it out this way here too. And I cross off one of the 60s. And the reason I do this is because the coaches will quickly ask you how many timeouts they have left in the game. And this is easier to see for me this way, that they have 2 fulls and 2 halves left in the game. And if they call a timeout and they don't have any left, then that's a technical foul on our team. So you want to make sure this is accurate. Okay, so once you get to, okay, so then say there's a jump ball in the first period, and the next possession will be Tesoro. So then I would put first quarter, whenever it happened, whenever the jump ball happens, say it's 2 minutes left, and then Tesoro gets the ball, so they're red. And so then the next possession of ball will be San Juan Hills will be white. If there is not another jump ball in this period, then in the second period, San Juan Hills white will get to inbound the ball. And then the way I would indicate that is I would put second quarter white. So now the second quarter has started, and white got the ball, so the next jump ball or possession of ball will be red. Hopefully that makes sense. Before I jump too far ahead, at the end of each quarter, you want to add up the points and make sure it's correct with the scoreboard, and also the opponent's scorekeeper will probably want to do the same with you. So let's just say it's a low scoring first quarter, and these were the only scores. I just go through, and it's 3, 2, 5, 6 points. I just kind of mark it like this, and I go 6 points here, and then I will put the first quarter score here is 6. And then you'll just do that at halftime, the third period, and then the final score, and hopefully that all adds up. What else? So you want to do the same on their side for their timeouts. When the player on our team gets in foul trouble, so if they get 2 quick fouls, or if they get to 3, I just let the coach know where they're at, or they might ask you, because they kind of keep track of that, but they might ask you. So you'll want to let them know if they get to maybe 3 fouls, and they might sub them out, if it's early in the game. And then here's technical fouls. If they get a technical foul, you can mark those. Here's the coach's technical fouls. You can mark those as well. And then I also keep turnovers. I just keep chicken scratches. So if we turn over the ball, I just hopefully won't have that many, but I'll just keep chicken scratches here, and I'll do the same. You can't see it off screen, but I'll do the same on their side just to see how many times we turn over the ball. Another thing to know is the team fouls here. So as I was saying on the other side, if Fisher gets a foul first, I put a 2 here. Then Bryant gets a foul, I put an 8 here. Reeves gets a foul, I put his jersey number in the 3rd box. Then Cooper gets a foul, I put it in the 4th box, and so on. Okay, so when you get to the 6th foul, the ref will usually see on the scoreboard, but you'll want to tell the ref that the next foul is bonus. So at 7 fouls, there's a bonus. The other team shoots bonus. Unless it is an offensive foul on San Juan here, then it would just be a 7th foul, and Tesoro would not shoot bonus, but you'll just want, the refs would know that. So you just want to let the refs know when you're at the 6th foul. That way they know when the 7th foul, unless it's an offensive foul, then the other team will shoot 1 and 1. And so when that happens, so O'Neal, say he committed the 7th foul, then this player, say he got fouled, number 5 got fouled, then you'll just do, it's a bonus, so you don't put the 2 circles, you just put the 1. If he misses it, you just leave it this way. If he makes it, then you can fill it in mark down the point up there, and then you can put the second circle in for his second free throw. If he makes it, fill it in, and then if he misses it, you would just leave it. So then the second period, when they come in, you could do the same thing on our team. Just mark who's playing or who's starting. You know, if it's the same starters, you just mark that. You know, and if the other people come in, you can mark it so coach could see who's in. And then same thing, you want to just add for each quarter. And then if it goes into overtime, you would add it here. Then at the end of the game, let's see, let's fill that in. So say the halftime score, we have 12. These are low scores, but 18. And the final score, say we have 24. Again, that would be bad. But then you want to add everything up to make sure everything adds up here. So that would mean that there was 6 points here. So the first half score would be 12. And then there would be 6 points at the third period. And that would have given us the 18. And then another 6 points the fourth quarter to get us to the 24 final score. And then at the end, you want to add up the player's score. You don't necessarily have to do all these details. This is how many twos they made, how many threes they made, free throw attempts, free throws made, and total points. They'll usually want to see the total points right away, so I just do those first. 3 for Fisher, 2 for Bryant, 1 for Reeves, like this. And then later on, if I have time, I'll go fill in, you know, that out of that he had 1 3, Bryant had 1 2-point basket, and there's 2 free throw attempts here, and Reeves made 1 of 2, and that's 1 point. And then you can just, definitely don't have to do that detail for the opposing team, just maybe the total points. I think that is it. You just want to keep the coaches, like I said, you know, our coach, you want to keep them aware of our player fouls, you know, once it gets early fouls or to 3, and then you just want to keep them aware of how many timeouts they have left, and they'll ask you that a few times. Oh, and then at the end of each period, I like to circle the number of points, you know, 12, 18, 24 was the final. So you should be able to kind of read this like a book to see. And then again, we're going to continue to say there was no jump ball in the second period. Then the halftime would be red, would be able to inbound the ball. And then the next jump ball would be white ball. And then there's also a possession arrow that somebody else is responsible for. And I think that is it. So if anybody wants to get a lesson, we have a couple of scrimmages coming up, I think November 7th and 8th. And I'm happy to sit at the desk and show you and train on how to do it. Thank you. I wanted to correct myself from earlier that when the player shoots anywhere close to the 3-point line, you always want to look at the ref to see if he has those 2 hands up. That indicates a 3-point basket. Or if not, then a 2-point basket. You definitely do not want to make that call yourself, so look at the ref. Also, I wanted to correct my possession of ball section. Just want to go over this one more time. I did the arrows incorrectly. So in this scenario, San Juan wins the tip, so I put tip W, and then I put the arrow going this way because the next possession of ball will be Tesoro. And then in the scenario, in the first period, at the 2-minute mark, there was a jump ball, so red got the ball. And so that means the next possession of ball would be, the arrow would go this way because San Juan Hills would get the next possession of ball. And in this case, there was not another jump ball in the first period. So in the second quarter, San Juan would inbound the ball, who's white. And so then I indicate that by second quarter, white, and then the arrow goes back points towards Tesoro or red, because they will get the next possession of ball. And here there was no second period jump ball. So at halftime, Tesoro was the next possession. They inbounded it at the half. So I indicated it here. And then San Juan or white would get the ball in the next possession of ball. And this would just carry through all the way here. And then in case I wasn't clear, you need to do all the same markings on this side, on Tesoro's side, as San Juan's side, except for the player name and quarters played. But you do need to add up each period and fill in everything here the same. They definitely don't need the details here, but just total the player points. And I forgot to mention that the coaches like to see the free throw percentage. So here you would add this up. So free throws attempted would be 2, free throws made would be 1, and then I just put a 50%, which would be bad. And then I do the same for their side as well. You keep track of their timeouts as well, cross them out as well here. And then a lot of times the opponent's scorekeeper might check with you after every period, which when we're the away team, I go to the home book scorekeeper and I check to make sure we have the same number of timeouts left, we have the same number of fouls, and that everything checks because they're the home book. So if they have something wrong and you have this level of detail, then you can discuss with the ref. If you ever have a question in the middle of the game or something's wrong or the scoreboard's wrong, you can notify the ref. They don't notify the ref in the middle of a play, but at the next dead ball or before the ball goes live, you want to notify the ref if there is a discrepancy or a question.